This is Matt Russell, and welcome to the DailyFX Forum.
Hello and welcome to the DailyFX Forum highlights video for December 21st. Just scrolling through the forums tonight here on the scalping and intraday trading thread, a post here by Dec21 which I wanted to highlight. The Eurodollar, if you recall, during many previous reports, forum highlights videos, I've mentioned Brad's posts, and this is a trade on the Eurodollar that he has been in from 48.25. If you recall, during, I believe it was the beginning of last week, where he mentioned that he was exiting 1/3 of the position and holding 2/3 for the rest, just in case prices do continue to fall. And at that point, they were about 146.50 or so. So obviously, he's well into the money now on those remaining lots. And let me just read here. I hope price keeps dropping straight down. It's been a hell of a ride already. Either way, whatever happens, the most important factor is that I have effectively turned this trade into a no-lose situation. So I'm very happy. And again, that's a great state to be in. And I've strongly recommend, new forum members definitely coming on here and following Brad1199. Speaking of which, here's a new trade that he's thinking about, or has already entered actually, but he might enter again, and this is on the Euro Pound. I'll go ahead and read it. The major top in Euro Pound that I've been calling for several months now is coming to fruition. I was able to call this long-term top far in advance thanks to a shooting star pattern left in place on the monthly chart, and then he goes ahead and shows those charts there, as well as some detailed and some zoomed in charts also. So moving forward now, if you are listening to this video and you're not a forum member, I strongly recommend listening to the end of this video so you can learn how to register for the forum. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up the charts right now, tell you what I'm looking at on the Euro Pound. And you can kind of, that's the main benefit of the forum, is to get a few different traders, their opinions, and areas where you might locate a trade. So taking Brad's information there, let's say it's a short trade. Obviously, he's short the Euro Pound from 91 and change. So I'm looking at the charts right now, and I would have a tentative bullish bias against this line here, which is about the 88.40 area. But moving forward, what we might look for, let's say we're flat and we're not short from 91 and change as Brad is, we might obviously look for other areas to enter that short trade. And maybe this is a level that Brad's looking at now, or maybe something else. And again, that's something you can be informed about if you're a regular member of the DailyFX forum. So with that being said, what we might look for now is a close beneath that 88.35 area, and then when prices do that, obviously the break below there would be confirmed, and then we might look for an entry on the opposite side of that line near the 88.40 area, and again place our stop back above, maybe near that 89 figure. But again, this is the way to use the forum, and also the way to find trade setups. In my personal opinion, my best trades are usually found at least a few days and at least a couple of hundred pips in advance, and this would be a situation similar to that. Again, my name is Matt Russell. Thanks for listening, and please stay tuned for a preview of the DailyFX forums. I want to take this opportunity to formally welcome you all to the DailyFX forums. I want to go through the process of how I personally access the forums and how maybe you at home, if you want to access the forums in the future, might do so. The first thing you would do is go to www.dailyfx.com, and that will bring up, obviously, dailyfx.com, and usually there on the upper right hand corner I'll go ahead and click on where it says forum, and that will bring up the first page of the forums. And this view, I personally don't use this view, but this view actually shows you the most recent posts on all the threads within the different sections, and a little detail about those posts, so you can read through and see if there's something catches your interest. But personally, I go ahead and just click on forums and view them in the more traditional sense. Now, these are different threads within the forum. There's a section on education, such as DailyFX course instructor tips, which would be good for newer traders, and then for more advanced traders. And I just want to go ahead, personally, the way I use the forums is I would go through the individual threads, just looking for trade ideas, maybe looking at charts, looking at certain lines that maybe I didn't put up on my chart, but another trader might have put up on their chart. I tend to, shy away from using direct trade recommendations from other forum members, but it helps me to sort of even out my analysis, make sure that I'm seeing things, with the right mind in terms of, I might be missing stuff that other traders can see, and that's my personal way of using the forum. Every trader is going to be a little bit different in how they use it. So if you want to ask questions, if you want to become an active participant of the members, you would have to go ahead and register. So that's what I'm going to go through now, is the registration process. So assuming you're brand new to the forums, or maybe you've been here a few times and you're not really sure how it works, so I just want to walk through again the registration process. This would be the front page where you would access, or the previous page. You'd have the same little box here on the left hand side. My username and password are already filled out here, but assuming you're a new member, you would click on where it says register, and that will bring up the registration page. If you give me one moment here while my browser loads. And actually first we're going to have some terms of service and DailyFX forum rules. I do suggest reading through the forum rules. Obviously, you know, profanity and spam and things like that are not allowed, but it also gives you insight on, you know, how to use the forum and how different traders can use it, you know, in terms of their individual needs. So you would go down to the bottom there, you'd click on where it says I have read all the rules, and then you would go ahead to the register, the formal registration page, and that will bring up here. And you can go ahead and select the username, and how about we'll use 4x, and that name is already in use, so maybe add a few more x's there. Again, it really, you know, your individual username is up to you, and you go ahead and fill in your password, your email address. Now, the most difficult aspect of registration for the DailyFX forums will be figuring out these letters in the box here. Now, I'm a semi-intelligent person, but I have a very difficult time figuring out which letters and numbers to use. Now, there is a reason for this madness. It helps with security, but I would suggest just going ahead and keep on clicking that refresh image until something comes through that you can actually identify and see. Then you can go ahead and enter your birthday, but you can decide whether or not to display that to other forum members. And then also, if you were referred by somebody, you can enter that information there. The time zone, that should default to your computer, but you should, you know, double check and make sure. And then you can opt in, and I would, you know, suggest opting in for these emails in terms if the administrators want to go ahead and send you some notices about the forum, and then you would complete registration. Now what happens is they would send you an email to the email address that you put up here, and that email will include a link, and all you would have to do is go ahead and click on that link, and that link will bring you inside the forum, and you would now be a member of the DailyFX forums. Again, this is Matt Russell. Thanks for listening.